Ryan Brooks steps out of his SUV into the brisk Seattle morning. He tugs at the collar of a plain black t-shirt, the kind any new employee might wear. Gone are his usual tailored suits and polished shoes. Today, he's sporting comfortable jeans, sneakers, and a baseball cap pulled low over his short hair. He inhales the faint tang of salt in the air, a reminder of the city's waterfront just a few blocks away. In front of him rises the bright sign of Seaview Kitchen, a bustling, family-friendly restaurant he founded nearly 10 years ago. Now, he's returning in disguise as Ryan the Busser, hoping to learn firsthand why staff turnover has surged and customer complaints have cropped up. He pushes open the glass doors, stepping inside to the swirl of clinking silverware, sizzling pans, and the rich aroma of coffee that wafts from behind the counter. The dining area buzzes with an early lunch crowd, parents with toddlers, professionals on a quick break, and a few seniors chatting over scrambled eggs. He feels a pang of pride at how full the place is, but that pride is tempered by the knowledge something isn't right behind the scenes. A tall, stern-looking man with a managerial badge that reads Nathan, Assistant Manager, catches Ryan's eye. Nathan strides over, a clipboard tucked under one arm. His voice is clipped. "You must be the new busser they sent me. Ryan, was it?" Ryan nods quickly, adopting a polite, unassuming tone. "Yes, sir." "Ready to work." Nathan barely nods. "Grab a rag from the supply closet and start clearing tables. We're short-staffed today, so move fast. If any server needs help, offer it. But your main job is wiping down surfaces and resetting cutlery. Got it?" Ryan forces a friendly grin. "Sure thing." He walks away, noticing how Nathan doesn't bother introducing him to anyone or explaining the layout. Instead, the manager barks orders at a passing waitress, Sasha, according to her name tag, about a table that hasn't gotten water refills. Sasha nods, exhaustion flickering in her eyes, then hurries off. Ryan senses tension in the air. The restaurant bustles with customers, but the staff seems stretched thin. He weaves through the dining area, eyeing the decor he personally approved years ago: teal walls, seascape paintings, strings of soft lights. A warm, inviting atmosphere for families. Yet, from the anxious faces of employees, he suspects management pressure has overshadowed that warmth. He picks up a worn cloth and heads to a recently vacated booth near the back. As he wipes away crumbs and a sticky smear of ketchup, he spots a petite waitress hustling to balance a tray of steaming bowls. Her name tag says Katie. She looks about 20-something, hair pulled back in a messy bun. Dark circles shadow her eyes, as though she's been working double shifts. A child at a nearby table knocks over a glass, water splashing across the floor. Katie flinches, immediately pivoting to grab a towel. Her face is taut with stress, but she forces a smile for the customer, apologizing as though it's her fault. Ryan's heart tightens. He glances at Nathan, who watches from behind the hostess stand, arms folded, an expression of disapproval. Ryan imagines the manager might scold Katie for any slowdown. He sets aside the used rag, quickly grabs another, and hurries over to help mop up the water. Katie mouths a grateful, "Thank you," relief flashing in her eyes. He returns to clearing plates and resetting silverware on a string of empty tables. While he works, he overhears snatches of conversation from the waitstaff. "She's been clocked in since 5 a.m. She must be exhausted," says one waitress, voice hushed. "You know how Nathan is. If we don't push ourselves, we lose hours," another replies. Ryan's gut clenches. This talk of forced overtime, threatened hours, this can't be the culture he intended for Seaview Kitchen. He glances around, searching for an opening to learn more, but decides to keep a low profile until he has a clearer picture. He finishes clearing 2 more booths, then notices a mother at a corner table, a toddler perched on a booster seat. The mother's shoulders slump, her hair disheveled, a barely touched salad in front of her. Her eyes brim with tears she seems determined to hide. The child fusses, dropping pieces of bread on the floor. As Ryan approaches to offer a refill of water or some extra napkins, he sees the mother silently exhale, a tear rolling down her cheek. She's crying, but so quietly no one around her seems to notice. He stops cold. A wave of concern engulfs him. She looks worn down like she hasn't slept in days. Glancing away, she dabs at her cheek, hoping to conceal her tears from the bustling restaurant. Her toddler babbles, oblivious. Ryan sets down the tub he's carrying, stepping closer to see if she needs anything. "Ma'am, everything okay here?" he asks gently, focusing on a calm, caring tone. She offers a shaky nod, trying to smile. "Yes, I'm fine, just a little overwhelmed." Her voice trembles. Ryan wants to help, but he also doesn't want to intrude. "Would you like a high chair instead of the booster seat? Or maybe an extra plate for your little one?" She hesitates, eyes darting to the child, then to her half-eaten salad. "A high chair would be nice, actually." "Thank you." He nods, rushing off to grab one. On his way, he notices Sasha, who's dropping off drinks at a table of 4. She meets his gaze, and for an instant, there's concern in her eyes, as though she, too, noticed the mother's tears. But Sasha quickly returns to her task, no time to chat. The dining area is at full capacity, the noise level rising. Back at the corner table, Ryan swiftly swaps the booster seat for a high chair, helps the mother settle her toddler in, then musters a gentle smile. "Let me know if you need anything else." "Thank you," she whispers, tears still lingering in the corners of her eyes. The toddler smacks the tray with a spoon, oblivious to the tension. Ryan resumes his busser duties, but the image of that mother's silent cry gnaws at him. What's her story? Is she just having a bad day? Or is something else going on? He forces himself to focus on clearing more tables, reminding himself he's here to observe everything: staff conditions, customer experience, management approach. Moments later, Nathan strides across the dining area, zeroing in on Katie, who stands at the beverage station, refilling iced teas. His voice is audible even over the clatter of plates. "Katie, Table 12 is complaining about slow service. They said they've been waiting 15 minutes for you to take their order." Katie's eyes widen in alarm. "I'm sorry, I was dealing with the family in the booth who spilled water. Then Table 5 needed their check corrected." Nathan cuts her off, voice icy. "I don't want excuses. If you can't keep up, I'll cut your shifts next week. Understood?" Katie flushes, tears threatening. "Yes, sir." She ducks her head, carrying the iced tea pitchers to Table 12. Ryan, wiping down a nearby booth, clenches the rag in his hand, anger flaring. He notices the mother in the corner table watch that exchange, her brows furrowed in sympathy for Katie. The mother's silent cry might have ended, but her gaze flickers with empathy for the waitress. Ryan steels himself, determined to gather more insight. For the next hour, he cleans tables, helps Katie deliver bus bins to the dishwasher, and picks up small tasks. All the while, he sees how short-staffed the place is. Sasha practically sprints between 5 tables at once. Another server, Calvin, looks close to collapsing from carrying heavy trays nonstop. When a quiet lull finally settles, Ryan retreats to a corner near the kitchen, leaning against the wall. Sasha sidles up to him, exhaling. "We're getting hammered today. Thanks for jumping in with water refills earlier. Usually no one helps but me or Katie." Ryan nods. "No problem. Does it always get this hectic?" She lets out a tired laugh. "Lately, yes. We used to have more staff, but folks have quit. Some say they can't handle the manager's demands. We're not meeting corporate goals, and that trickles down as pressure on Nathan, who then pushes us harder." He frowns. "Doesn't the general manager step in?" Sasha sighs, shrugging. "We had a GM, but she left last month. Corporate hasn't replaced her yet, so Nathan's filling in. Well, you've seen how he is." Her gaze drifts, noticing a customer waving for the check. Duty calls, "Catch you later." Ryan thanks her, heart heavy. This store was supposed to be a bright spot in the community, a place where staff felt valued. Now, employees are overworked, threatened with shift cuts, and forced to pick up the slack. The fact that the official GM position remains vacant only adds to the confusion. He notices the mother from earlier heading toward the restroom, toddler in tow, looking frazzled. Before he can check on her, Nathan beckons him over. "Hey, Busser, table 7 left, go clean it up." Ryan forces a polite nod. "On my way." He quickly clears the plates, noticing scribbled complaints on a comment card. Words like slow service and unhappy staff vibes stand out. He tucks the card discreetly into his pocket for later. Lunch rush bleeds into mid-afternoon, with customers coming and going in waves. Ryan catches glimpses of the mother trying to calm her child, who's now cranky and fussing about wanting to leave. She hardly touches her salad, more tears evident when she turns away. Once or twice, she beckons a server to ask about kids' menu options or extra napkins, but the staff are stretched too thin to offer more than a quick response. Eventually, the mother requests the check. She rifles through her purse with trembling fingers. Ryan watches from behind the counter, noticing she hesitates when the bill arrives, as if uncertain about her funds. Another tear escapes down her cheek. He feels a pang in his chest. Something tells him she's grappling with more than just a fussy toddler. He wants to help, but he also wants to maintain his cover a bit longer. After a moment's hesitation, he grabs a water pitcher and heads her way. "Refill, ma'am?" he asks softly. She shakes her head, eyes cast down, sliding the check across the table. "No, thank you. I'm okay." Her voice is tight, emotions barely contained. Ryan notices she's left an exact cash payment for the meal, plus a very small tip. She glances up, forcing a faint smile. "I'm sorry to have bothered you earlier. It's just been a tough day." "It's no bother," Ryan murmurs, fighting the urge to do something more substantial. "I hope everything works out for you." She nods, gathers her purse, and lifts her child from the high chair. Another tear slips down, though she tries to hide it behind the toddler's hair. Without further word, she leaves, pushing through the glass doors into the afternoon sun. Ryan stands still, heart heavy. He wonders if she's short on money, struggling with rent, or facing personal issues. It's a stark reminder that customers aren't just wallets or statistics. They have stories, heartbreaks. The silent cry he witnessed underlines how life can weigh on people in ways restaurants seldom notice. He steps away from the table, only to find Nathan looming. "Ryan, we have a staff meeting in the back in 5 minutes. Don't be late." Ryan nods, letting the manager pass. Then he clears the mother's table, carefully pocketing the small tip. He resolves to cover her bill himself next time if she ever returns, though he wonders if she'll be back at all. Inside the cramped back room, a handful of staff gather. Sasha, Katie, Calvin, a dishwasher named Leo, and Nathan standing up front. Ryan edges in, staying near the door. The mood is tense, heavy with fatigue. Nathan clears his throat. "Listen up," Nathan says, tapping a piece of paper on the table. "We're behind on meeting daily revenue targets. Complaints are up, and that's not acceptable. Corporate's expecting an improvement within the next 2 weeks. If we don't deliver, we risk cutbacks." He glances around, eyes landing on Katie, then Sasha. "That means everyone needs to hustle. Fewer mistakes, faster table turnover, more upselling. Got it?" Sasha looks like she wants to protest, but stays silent. Katie averts her eyes. Calvin shifts uncomfortably. Ryan watches their reactions, noting the frustration. Nathan continues. "Also, we're short-staffed, so I'll be scheduling double shifts for some of you. Anyone who can't handle it, tough. You want your hours, you work." Katie's mouth parts in dismay, but she says nothing. Sasha exhales shakily. Ryan clenches his fists, anger swirling. This tone is the polar opposite of the supportive environment he envisioned for Seaview Kitchen. Sasha finds her voice. "We've barely caught our breath all week. Couldn't we hire just 1 or 2 more people to spread out the workload?" Nathan scowls. "Hire more people? Are you paying for that out of your tip jar?" "Until corporate signs off, we work with what we have. End of story." Ryan can't hold back. What if the staff are too exhausted? Won't it hurt customer satisfaction if we're all overworked? Nathan's gaze snapped to him, eyes narrowing. You've been here, what, a day? Don't lecture me on how to run this place. If you can't handle it, there's the door. A tense silence settles. Katie looks between them, fear flickering on her face. Sasha fidgets with the hem of her apron. Calvin stares at the floor. After a moment, Nathan dismisses them. Meeting over. Get back to work. They shuffle out, tension radiating. Ryan lingers, trying to formulate a plan to address this management style. Before he can leave, Nathan corners him by the storage shelves, voice low and accusatory. You got a problem with how I do things? Ryan lifts his chin. I just think the staff are drowning. It might be good to ease up a bit. Nathan snorts. I see what this is. You come in thinking you can be the hero, but trust me, heroics won't save this store if we fail corporate benchmarks. So mind your business or I'll cut your shift. Clear? Ryan nods tightly, an internal storm brewing. Crystal clear. Nathan stalks off. Ryan takes a moment to steady his breathing, anger buzzing in his veins. This man has no idea he's speaking to the founder. But Ryan refuses to blow his cover prematurely. He needs a complete, honest picture to make lasting changes. He spends the next hour quietly helping servers, offering moral support and clearing tables. Katie whispers a grateful thank you when he swoops in to refill her section's water glasses. Sasha manages a weary smile as he helps bus a family's cluttered booth. Calvin nods in appreciation when Ryan helps carry a tray. Each small act of assistance reveals more about their struggles. Finally, the rush ebbs. The restaurant empties enough for a brief lull. Ryan heads behind the kitchen where a row of lockers stands. He takes out a small notepad from his pocket, intending to jot down observations. When he overhears heated voices from around the corner, he stops, ear-tuned. It's Nathan, presumably on the phone. His tone is harsh. What do you mean corporate never responded? I've been emailing the regional manager for weeks. We need more staff or an updated budget for hiring. He pauses, frustration spiking. Don't blame me if we miss targets. I'm doing everything I can. No, I'm not scaring them off. I'm pushing them to perform. Ryan's heart drops. So Nathan's under corporate pressure, or at least believes he is. Possibly the real culprit is a lack of communication at higher levels. Or maybe Nathan's approach has overshadowed any chance for compromise. Nathan ends the call with a growl. Fine, I'll figure it out myself, then stomps away. Ryan ducks behind a wall, waiting until the manager passes. It appears Nathan's not just a tyrant for the sake of it. He might feel cornered. Still, that doesn't excuse bullying employees, but it adds depth to the conflict. Ryan returns to the dining floor, scanning for the mother who was crying earlier, but she's long gone. He can't shake the memory of her tearful face, and a knot settles in his stomach. He wonders how many other customers leave here carrying silent burdens, unseen by staff too exhausted to notice. He decides the time has come to address the root problems. When the dinner rush hits, the staff is once again overwhelmed. Nathan paces like a watchdog. Katie nearly slips on a wet patch of floor. Sasha juggles an armful of plates, eyes darting for help. Ryan steps in, guiding them through the wave, quietly offering assistance, refilling cups, clearing messes. Around 8 p.m., the crowd finally thins. The staff slump with relief, counting tips and wiping tables. Nathan retreats to the office, presumably to pore over spreadsheets. Ryan sets down a tray of leftover dishes, scanning the tired faces. Katie rubs her wrist, which seems sore from carrying trays. Sasha leans against the wall, stifling a yawn. Calvin collects salt shakers, robotically checking each one. Ryan clears his throat. Everyone, gather up for a minute. He leads them to a corner of the dining area, away from prying ears. They exchange wary looks but follow. Katie glances around. Are we allowed to stand here? Nathan might. Ryan raises a hand gently. I'll handle Nathan. I just want to say you all are doing an amazing job under impossible conditions. I've seen how you care for customers, how you pick up slack when we're short-staffed. Sasha smiles faintly. We try. This place used to be great. It's just been tough lately. Ryan nods, heart heavy. I know. I appreciate your hard work. Listen, if you could fix one thing about this place, what would it be? They exchange glances. Calvin pipes up. We need more staff. Running on half a team is killing us. Katie adds softly, better shift rotation, so none of us have to pull endless doubles. Sasha sighs. And a manager who sees us as people, not just numbers. Ryan's chest tightens, hearing their pleas. He's about to reply when Nathan appears, arms crossed. What's this? A staff party? They jump back to tasks, dispersing. Nathan fixes Ryan with a glare. You're overstepping your role, Busser. If I catch you distracting my servers again, you can kiss your hours goodbye. Ryan steadies himself, deciding enough is enough. He glances at the empty tables, the hush settling over the restaurant. This is his establishment, his dream. He won't let intimidation reign a moment longer. He steps forward, voice low but firm. We need to talk, Nathan. Now. Nathan's eyes narrow. Oh, we do we? What could you possibly have to say? Ryan takes a breath, scanning the room where Katie, Sasha, and Calvin linger, half listening. He nods toward the front, leading Nathan out of earshot. Once there, he locks eyes with the manager. I'm Ryan Brooks, founder of Seaview Kitchen. I came undercover to see why morale and service have declined. Now I see it's not just short staffing, it's your approach. Nathan blinks, stepping back. You're the founder? You never said... His voice falters. Ryan lifts a brow. Would that have changed anything? You've been pushing employees to the edge, threatening to cut shifts. I watched you berate Katie for a minor delay she couldn't control. Meanwhile, Sasha and Calvin can hardly stand from exhaustion. Nathan's mouth opens, but no words emerge. Finally, he manages, I was just doing what I thought corporate demanded. The store's behind on revenue. I was told to shape things up. Ryan exhales slowly. I get that there's pressure, but humiliating staff, ignoring their burnout, that's not how we fix it. We fix it by supporting them, hiring enough people, and showing basic respect. Nathan's shoulders slump. I've been emailing the regional manager, but no one responded. I didn't know what else to do except push harder. Ryan's eyes soften. Then you reach out again. You escalate. You don't take it out on your team. This is a family restaurant, not a sweatshop. Effective immediately, I'm replacing you as manager. We'll find a new approach that doesn't involve threats. Nathan pales, swallowing hard. Replacing me? But Ryan holds up a hand. I understand you felt cornered. But the way you handled it was wrong. We'll see about transferring you to another role if possible, but for now, you're done as manager. Nathan nods numbly, perhaps relieved or fearful, it's hard to tell. He stares at the floor. All right, I guess I can't argue. Ryan steps back into the dining area, where the staff gather in hushed curiosity. Katie, Sasha, and Calvin watch him approach with wide eyes. He clears his throat, letting them see the determination in his gaze. Everyone, I'm Ryan Brooks, the founder. I came undercover to understand the problems here. I'm sorry it took this long. Nathan is stepping down from management. A stunned silence, then Katie gasps. Sasha's eyes fill with tears of relief, and Calvin exhales a low, wow. Ryan continues, voice gentle. I see how hard you work. Starting tomorrow, we'll have an interim manager from another Seaview location, someone who actually values you. We'll reorder the schedule so no one pulls endless doubles, and we'll hire at least 2 more servers. Sasha clasps her hands together. Are you serious? That would help so much. Ryan nods. Yes. We need to fix staffing issues and restore morale. If you have ideas, share them with me tonight. We'll make changes. Katie bites her lip, tears forming. Thank you, she whispers. You have no idea how bad it's been. Ryan offers a small, sad smile. I have some idea now. I also want you to know that if any of you ever sees a customer struggling, like that mother from earlier, help them. Take a moment to be kind. That's who we are. Sasha's voice trembles with gratitude. Calvin wipes his brow, relief crossing his face. Even from the corner of the room, the dishwasher, Leo, peeks out and gives a tentative thumbs up. Ryan beckons them closer, speaking softly. I'll stay on site this week, personally overseeing changes. If you need anything, a shift adjustment, training, or just a break, tell me. This place was built to serve families with warmth, not stress them out with frantic service or break its employees. Let's fix it together. A ripple of cautious excitement sweeps through the small group. Katie exhales, relaxing her shoulders. Sasha wipes a tear, nodding fervently. Calvin musters a grin. Nathan stands off to the side, uncertain, as though grappling with what to do next. Ryan gives him a polite nod, hoping they can find a more suitable position for him, if he's willing to learn. That night, the closing routine feels lighter, as if a weight has lifted. Sasha and Katie share tired but genuine smiles while collecting tips. Calvin hums softly, stacking chairs. Ryan helps them wipe down the last tables, nodding at each staff member in thanks. He can almost sense the atmosphere shifting back to the welcoming vibe he intended for Seaview Kitchen from the start. Before they head out, he gathers them briefly in a circle near the hostess stand. I know tonight's been a roller coaster, he says softly, voice tinged with emotion, but I promise this is just the beginning of positive changes. If any of you watching this journey, he glances around, speaking as if to an unseen audience, care about how we turn things around, keep following along. We're determined to restore Seaview Kitchen to a place of kindness and teamwork. They offer quiet applause and a small laugh escapes Katie. She gestures to the door. I think we've earned some rest, right? Ryan smiles. Absolutely. Go home, get sleep. Tomorrow's a new day. They filter out into the cool Seattle night, sharing weary goodbyes. Ryan lingers by the entrance, flipping off the last bank of lights. His thoughts drift to the mother who left earlier, tears staining her cheeks. He wishes he could have done more in that moment, maybe comped her meal or offered a listening ear. But he vows that from now on, no stressed parent or struggling customer will slip through the cracks unnoticed at Seaview Kitchen. He steps outside, locking the door behind him. The neon sign glows overhead, casting a gentle reflection on the damp sidewalk. He stands there a moment, inhaling the briny breeze rolling in from the waterfront. Despite the long day, he feels a surge of hope. By morning, he'll bring in reinforcements, talk to corporate about hiring approvals, and ensure the staff know he values them. And maybe, just maybe, he'll find a way to track down that mother or pay it forward to someone else in need. The next day will be challenging, reorganizing schedules, dealing with budgets, training a new interim manager. But the staff's relief and gratitude resonate in his chest. He thinks of how Katie's eyes lit up when he promised change, or how Sasha finally exhaled the tension she'd been carrying. And he remembers the mother's silent cry, a reminder that this restaurant isn't just a business. It's a place where real lives intersect, sometimes at their most fragile moments. He slides into his SUV, leaning his head back against the seat. 1,000 details crowd his mind, but the path is clear. He set out to discover the truth, and he found it. A staff drowning under mismanagement, customers feeling the strain. Now, as the founder, he will restore compassion and decency from the inside out. For that mother, for every customer, and for the staff who make Seaview Kitchen more than just another restaurant. A soft smile touches his lips. He starts the engine, pulling away from the curb. The neon glow of Seaview Kitchen recedes in his rearview mirror, but the resolution in his heart only grows stronger. Tomorrow, he'll reintroduce the place to the principles of empathy and teamwork that once defined it. Tomorrow, no one will have to cry in silence, neither staff nor customer, because he'll ensure the entire team stands ready to help.